Could Demi Vollering pull off another solo pacing masterclass in the red jersey? Teammates in the group, all happening again in Stage 6 of La Vuelta Femenina from Tarazona to La Laguna Negra Vinuesa. This is a climb actually that's been used in the men's Vuelta a couple of times in the last 4 years. Herrada won and maybe Carapaz against Roglic. It's a Unipuerto, 6K, 7%, not that hard, but still a good climb for Vollering. And you know, a lot of riders can make the difference in this race, but the Nuvia Doma, who was maybe one of them, wouldn't be because she didn't start. Unfortunately, she's got lingering sickness from the Ardennes. Riolini also didn't start, understandably, after her nasty crash yesterday. So breakaway up the road, going for combative with 20Ks to go when they'd been slowly reeled in by a pretty relaxed peloton. Good weather, a lot of rain recently. This Aragon region, like the last couple of days of the Vuelta, the scenery's been unbelievably good. And the lead-out start, everyone gets into company formation as we approach the climb, which starts with about 6.5Ks to go. Vash, though, she drops straight away. Usually you'd expect her to stay in a group of 30, maybe this big based on previous days. I mean, Marianne Vos is still there trying to put Marcus in position. Labou's put in good position by DSM, Post and L. But Grace Brown goes to the front once again. FDJ Suez, they did it yesterday on the first long climb with Brown. They're clearly going for Muzic, but I think you see her here on the right-hand side. She's got a very distinctive riding style, trying to move up. She nearly goes off the road. She puts the elbow out, trying to move into position while Brown is hitting it on the front. And Brown's done a really good job of this the last couple of days. And so of FDJ Suez, Maud Alderman can't handle the pace. She lets Royce through, but Royce's jersey and Alison Jackson's jersey, the Canadian Natty Champs jersey, they look really similar to the Swiss and the Canadian one. But now it's a group of about 20 riders. Phoenix de Koenig still there with Royackers and Castelline. Castelline's climbing has probably been the revelation of this Vuelta so far, going against the big guns. But Demi Vollering hits the front again. 3.8Ks to go. The group's still like 15 riders, and she still has 2 teammates in the group, Fisher Black and Marlon Royce, and she's looking back like, does anyone want to pace? But also, I feel like Vollering hits the front too early, and then maybe she starts pacing too early, or maybe she'd already called them through to pace, and this is, I don't know, her reaction, but it's a risky strategy. Fortunately, she has way more watts than everybody else. This is what Remco's done and Indurain did. She's on the radio here, maybe calling for someone to come through and pace. But if you're leading GC and you've got the best watts and you know you have the best watts, like we saw on Remco on the Joret de Cati in La Vuelta last year, the best and safest thing you can do is just set a pace if no one else is going to do it for you. Now, preferably a teammate paces for you, but if they're not going to, the safest thing you can do for GC is to set a pace, rather than responding to stop-start attacks. Obviously, if you're not the best rider, you can't do this, but if you know you're the best, this is what you should do. Now, it does decrease the chance you're going to win the stage, particularly on a climb like this. Strong headwind, 6 to 7% gradient, even some shallower sections as well, although the steeper sections here, Cadzao and Gigante being dropped. It spreads out a bit, and it levels off here, and Reusser actually does come through. So that's what I was saying, that maybe Vollering is going to the front too quickly and making it too hard that Reusser can't move up. I don't know. But here you see it's kind of a descent section. The pace has really come out of it. Gigante's coming back. Reusser is setting a tempo to prevent attacks. But you'll see in a second, as it kicks up, they're going through a little dipper here with about 1,700 meters to go when they come out of it, that Castelline uses, or Royackers rather, uses that momentum to attack. And so that's what Vollering probably doesn't want, is attacks flying up the road, having to spike your watts, respond to them, groups go, more of a chaotic situation. That's what she was trying to avoid, and she attacks out of Royce's wheel, and you see her immediately get a gap to Elisa Longo-Borghini there, but she just keeps knocking out her tempo. Maybe she should have gone over the top, but she kind of knocks it back again. Maybe she couldn't. Again, the group's thinned even more. Cadzao's back, Fisher Black's back, Castelline is still there. Royackers begins sliding. Elisa Longo-Borghini looking under even more pressure than yesterday in this Unipuerto stage. Yesterday was more of an attritional stage with the big climb beforehand, and now Castelline goes. And man, she's looked good. But I didn't know, she won the Tour de France Femme avec Zwift stage last year, but I didn't know she could climb like this. But it makes sense because she's like a slender rider and she held off a whole peloton herself on rolling terrain, so she must have some pretty good watts per kilo. But under the Flamme Rouge, Vollering goes back to Indurain. Choo-choo. ELB looks like she's pulling off to attack. She actually pulls off just to drop the wheel, and everyone was overlapped and basically makes everyone lose like an extra 4 bike lengths that they didn't need to. Music closes the gap. Marcus there. Castelline maybe cost herself with that attack a better stage result, and Vollering looks like she's riding away for the stage win. It looks like she's doing exactly what she did yesterday. There's just a young French GC talent on the French team on her wheel, Evita Muzic. What can she do in the Tour de France Femmes this year? It's the team that Demi Vollering's rumoured to go to next year, to be leaving SD Works. And man, that would be a super team of climbers with Brown and potentially Ludwig and Muzic, who comes out of the wheel and dusts Vollering in the uphill sprint in the last 30 meters. Now, admittedly, Vollering did do like 0.2 watts per kilo more because the headwind and pacing, whatever, but hats off to Muzic. She was the only one to hold the wheel. She improved today. FDJ put in for her yesterday and invested again today with Brown on the climb, and they get rewarded for it with a big win in one of the biggest stage races on the calendar, ahead of Vollering, Castelline, Marcus, Longaborghini, Bowen, find a good performance, Lebu, Royakas, Fischer, Black, Kadzau. Here's what Muzic had to say after the stage.
This morning you said that you were going to try, keep up with Demi Vollering and outsprint her in the final few meters. And you made it! How amazing is that?
Yeah, I say this, but I was not some 100% sure that I can do it. And when I turned back and I saw that I was the only one on the wheel of Vollering, I was just focusing on not dropped, and after, pass her, and I'm very proud of what I have done, because all the girls of my team did a really good job all the race to keep me in the first position and did the lead out and also the first part of the climb. They were amazing, so it's also for her.
In terms of GC, I guess you can see why Vollering pays. She took more time on Longaborghini, made it safer for the stages to come. You never know what could happen. And Marcus is actually in third because of good TT and a really good climbing performance today and staying safe in the crosswinds. I guess the only movement I can see is Lebu trying to attack Marcus for that podium spot. She's like 24 seconds behind. And we've got a hard stage to finish, 2 long climbs and Mort Cuera, I think, coming up on the outskirts of Madrid. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you with a recap of the stage tomorrow. Ciao.